Hi guys, in today's video we're going to go over the steps on completing and assembling these coasters, hot pads, and mini quilted hangings. Perfect for St. Patrick's Day coming up. All the steps are the same for each of these, and we will talk through all of them. I will also cover all the supplies that you need. Hi, I'm Dawn from Creative Appliques. Thank you for being here. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. I appreciate you so much. You're the reason I'm here. If you're not a subscriber, please become a subscriber. And everyone, please click that like button so that I know you enjoy my content and you want to keep seeing more. We are going to go over the supplies, everything you need, and exactly how easy and fast these are to assemble. So let's jump in. The coasters come in a set of four: 4.5 inch, 5.5 inch, 6.5 inch, and 7.5 inch sizes. The hot pads also come with a set of four different sizes, from 8.5, 9.5, 10.5, and 11.5 inches. And then the mini quilt hangings are sold separately in three different sizes to fit the 6x6 hoop, the 8x8 hoop, and the 11.5 inch hoop. In order to know what size to cut the fabrics for each of these, please consult the included PDF download included with the file. Here are the supplies you're going to need. First, you're going to need your embroidery frame and some stabilizer. I like to use a medium weight cutaway. It gives it extra strength and structure to the finished product. You are going to need some batting. I really like this batting. It's super fluffy, but you have to be really careful that your presser foot doesn't get caught and drag on in this. So be careful with the type of batting you use and watch your presser foot very closely. Next, you're going to need fabric for the top of the project and the back. So I don't know if you can see, I'm using two different fabrics here for the front and the back. For the front, I've got this cute little flower, and for the back, I have like this chevron, tone-on-tone chevron. I often use different fabric on the back than I do on the front. Reason being, if I have a fabric I really like, I like to use that for the display part. If I have a fabric that I'm not partial to, or I wouldn't be sad if it's all gone, I'll use that for the back. Since the back is not going to be seen for me, I use something that's pretty much the same color, but I use something that I'm not going to be sad when it runs out. So it's a great way to use up fabrics that you don't necessarily love, but wouldn't want that on the front. And you also can take some of your favorite fabric that you do have from the front and not have it be on the back. So I don't know if that's a good little tidbit for you or not. You're going to want your fabrics for two different fabrics for the shamrocks, one for the large and one for the small. You are going to need, of course, your threads, embroidery threads, your embroidery bobbin. I use a 7511 needle, some good applique scissors, a rotary cutter. This one's from Famore with ball bearings in it. Amazing. I have links down below for you to receive some discount on this. And then a quilting ruler. I also have a code for sew tights below as well. So let's get started on this project. I have hooped my stabilizer. The first thing I'm going to stitch is the placement line. Then I'm going to stick the batting on top of that and stitch down the batting. Now that the batting is stitched down, I'm going to trim close to the stitching. Trimming the batting is an optional step, but I like to do it because it takes the bulk out of the seam on the finished project. Next, we are going to take our front fabric and we are going to place it right side up, covering all of the stitching, and we're going to tack this down. It's also going to do the quilting in this step. So if you are wanting to match the fabric, then have a matching thread. If not, if you want to have a contrasting thread, then load that now. So I stitched the tack down for the shape. This is the hot pad, and it also went directly into stitching the quilting. So I used a matching thread color, so it just, you see the texture of it, but it's not gonna, the thread's not gonna stand out. I also then stitched the placement for the first piece of the first background clover, the larger one. Now I'm going to take my piece to cover the larger shamrock here and this stem. So I'm just going to lay the piece down. You can treat this with Heat and Bond Light if you want. I don't, because it's a hanging and I like to have the extra texture and it really pop out of the hot pad. So I don't use any Heat and Bond Light. Next, I'm going to stitch the tack down for this piece of fabric. So I did a little bit of fussy cutting here to get the clovers where I want them to be pieced. So now I'm going to trim close to the stitching. Next to stitch is going to be the placement for the small shamrock. I stitched the placement and now I will place my fabric and stitch the tack down. Now that this has been tacked down, I will trim close to the stitching. I like to take a little lint roller and clean off any of the pieces, the little threads that may be left on here, especially if you've used some Heat and Bond Light. It's really good to do this so that later when you're ironing, you're not ironing little thread pieces all over. So the next step to stitch is going to be the satin stitching around the larger shamrock and stem, and then it's going to stitch a bean stitch. If you don't want the bean stitch on top of that satin stitching, you can skip that step and then go on to the satin stitching for the smaller shamrock. I'm going to use the green thread that I choose for the large shamrock. Then I'm going to change it to the green I'm going to use for this shamrock and do the bean stitching on this. Then I will do the satin stitching in that color and change back to the color I used for the satin stitching for this clover to do the bean stitching on this one. So all the satin stitching and the bean stitching on top of the satin are complete. So if you are making the hanging, now is when you would put the sleeve on. So you would have prepped it as per the written instructions, and then you would center it between the sides of the hanging as it's explained in the written instructions. So that's what you would place down now and stitch that. Proceeding on with the coaster and the hot pad, we are going to take our two pieces. So the one with the fold is going to go right side down, and you're going to position it between the stitching at the top and the bottom, about around the center. So the fold will be right here, and then you will place the other piece on top of that. So making sure that we're covering all the stitching around all the sides. If you're making the hanging, it's the same exact step. You're going to place it with the fold here and then the raw edge overlapping. If you want, you can also put some Steam-A-Seam 2 on here right now. Just tear a piece that's going to fit, inside of this stitching, and then you can finger press it onto the side where the fold is and leave the paper on for right now. So it's very important that we put the right side down first with the fold towards the center, and then the left on top of that. And next we'll stitch the tack down for the back pieces. We have now finished stitching, so we'll remove it from the hoop. And I like to trim the stabilizer close to the stitching. And next I like to get my rotary cutter, and I just like to go around the outside, leaving about 1/4 of an inch. Now we're going to turn it right side out. Going to grab the iron and the ironing mat. I like to press from the back first, and I kind of pull it in towards the center. And then I give a good press on the outside. And to close up the back part here, if you want, you can either hand stitch it, you can do the seam like we had here. I like to put it on the folded edge. Make sure it's all covered by fabric. Give it a press for a second. The paper is still on there right now, but give it a press for a second. Wait for it to cool. Then go ahead and remove the paper. And again, push towards the center with this bottom piece, pull towards the center with the top piece. And what that does, it helps with being able to have these edges become nice and crisp and clean and smooth. I hope you enjoyed this project and see how fast and fun and easy it is and how quickly they all come together. Please leave me a comment on what you think, what you would like to see. I read every single comment that is made and try to respond to the best of my ability. So I do read the comments, so I'd love it if you would comment. Also, make sure you've clicked that like button, and also make sure you've subscribed. And if you're on Facebook, come over and join my Facebook group, Creative Appliques Embroidery Fans. We have a lot of fun over there. So thanks for joining me again, and until I see you next time, make your life creative.